You are not lazy. You are just overstimulated. There is a difference. When your brain is constantly fed notifications, videos, music, messages, it stops recognizing effort as interesting. Your dopamine baseline is so artificially elevated. That deep work feels like punishment. Therefore, every hard task gets abandoned. Every ambitious project dies in the planning phase. You call it lack of motivation. But motivation is not what you are missing. What you are missing is hunger. Your brain cannot crave difficult work when it is constantly fed easy pleasure. The moment you stop trying to make focus feel good, productive, whether the session feels inspiring, that is when you discover what real attention actually requires. Therefore, the solution is not another productivity system. The solution is deliberate sensory deprivation. You have been taught that the path to focus is finding the right music, the perfect environment, the ideal state. That is backwards. Focus does not come from adding the right stimulus. Focus comes from removing every option. Your brain is not designed to choose hard work over instant gratification. It is designed to seek novelty, comfort, the path of least resistance. Therefore, if you give it choices, it will always choose the easier one. The scroll, the refresh, the next video. You already know this. You have tested it 1,000 times. You sit down to work, and within 3 minutes, your hand is reaching for the phone. Not because you lack discipline, but because your environment is designed to distract you. Every surface around you is leaking stimulus. The light from another screen, the edge of a book, the movement in your peripheral vision. Your brain does not need much. A shadow, a color, a shape. That is enough to pull you away. Therefore, the problem is not your focus. The problem is that you're trying to focus inside a room full of bait. So you remove the bait completely. You sit at your desk with nothing. No phone, no music, no open tabs, just you and a blank wall. You do not try to work yet. You just sit there, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, doing absolutely nothing. Your brain will hate this. It will scream for something, anything. It will try to convince you that this is a waste of time, that you should just start. But that urgency is not motivation. That urgency is withdrawal. Your dopamine system has been trained to expect constant reward. Therefore, when you remove all stimulus, it panics. It interprets boredom as danger. This is exactly what you need, because after 10 minutes of staring into nothing, something shifts, suddenly. A hard problem, a difficult derivation, a line of code that makes no sense. It starts to look interesting, not because the work changed, but because everything else became more boring than the work itself. Your brain is not choosing the hard task because it is inspired. Your brain is choosing the hard task because it is the only escape from the void. This is the law of stimulus starvation. You cannot jump from high stimulation to deep work. The gap is too wide. Your dopamine-soaked brain will reject the effort every single time. Therefore, you must create a middle step, a period of deliberate, uncomfortable, total boredom. You make boredom worse than the work. You make stillness harder than the task. And when your brain finally begs for something to do, you give it the one thing you prepared, the textbook, the blank page, the problem. That is when focus becomes automatic, not because you forced it, but because you starved for it. Now you take it further. You remove your peripheral vision entirely. You turn off every light in the room. You place one high-intensity lamp, aimed only at your work, your notebook, your screen, nothing else. If you look away from the page, you are staring into complete darkness. No shapes, no distractions, no relief. Your eyes have nowhere else to go. Therefore, they stay on the task. Not because you are disciplined, but because the alternative is literally nothing. This is not about aesthetics. This is not about creating a calming space. This is about making distraction impossible. You are building a psychological trap, a place where the only interesting thing is the work in front of you. Your brain will resist this at first. It will tell you that you need background noise, a comfortable chair, the right playlist. All of that is negotiation. Your brain negotiating for an escape route. Therefore, you close every exit. You sit in silence, in darkness, in boredom, until the work becomes the only thing worth paying attention to. And here is what happens next. After 3 days of this, your brain starts to adapt. It stops fighting the boredom. It stops craving the dopamine hit. It learns that deep work is the new baseline. Therefore, focus stops feeling like effort. It starts feeling like relief. You can accelerate this with one more tool, a sensory anchor tied exclusively to deep work. You choose one specific taste, one smell, one physical sensation. Something slightly unpleasant, sharp cinnamon gum, black coffee with no sugar. You only experience this stimulus when you are doing hard, focused work. Never at any other time. Your brain begins to associate that taste with the state of total attention. After 2 weeks, the second you taste it, your mind drops into focus automatically. This is not motivation, this is conditioning. You are not waiting to feel inspired. You are not hoping that today will be different. You are systematically removing every alternative, until work is the only option that does not feel like torture. Most people try to make work more appealing. They add music, rewards, gamification, incentives. All of that is still negotiation, still trying to bribe the brain into doing what it already resists. Therefore, it fails. Because your brain knows the truth. The video is easier, the scroll is faster, the distraction is better. You cannot out-reward a dopamine-fed brain. But you can out-starve it. You stop trying to make the work interesting. You make everything else unbearable. You sit in a silent room, a dark room, a boring room. You remove the phone, the tabs, the movement, and you wait. You wait until your brain is so desperate for stimulus that it begs you to open the textbook. That is when you have won. Not because you found motivation, but because you made boredom worse than effort. The cost of staying the same is this: you will spend the rest of your life waiting for the right mood.